This is Jasmine from Beyond the Prophy. I am here with the wonderful Dr. Joy Void Holmes from Dr. Joy RDH. We are both the co-hosts of the Inspire the Future Summit, and we're here to talk about it. I'm so excited to have you on here, Dr. Joy. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Jasmine. Hello, everybody.
This is just incredible. I almost feel like my stomach is doing a couple of flips because we're 51 days away
Yeah.
from the inaugural event.
Yeah.
And I've got to read out the sponsors. We've got to give them a huge shout out right now and a thank
Absolutely.
you. We have Dentsply Sirona, Sunstar, SDI, Your Smile, Our Vision, Vocal, The Dentalists, Parkel, Cordy's, and Team Placement, who have taken the time to sponsor. And of course, we have our partners, which is Dr. Joy RDH, Beyond the Prophy, Student RDH. We're all here supporting this huge event that we're essentially helping to prepare the persons who are in charge of caring for the future of our profession,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
So first, let's do a good introduction to let everyone know who you are and the topics you're going to be speaking about, which I can't wait to learn from you.
Okay. Well, I am Dr. Joy RDH. I have been a dental hygienist for over 20 years. I have been in education going on 4 years. I have been in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area, practiced clinically for a little while, couple of other things, but dental hygiene has always been my passion. So two of my passions outside of dental hygiene would be instrumentation. And as an educator, I developed another love for calibration and, of course, advancing instrumentation and education. So those would be the topics that I'm going to talk about at the Inspire the Future Summit.
Yes, one of the hardest things I've seen in my 7 years of being in academia is dealing with calibration. And that is like the biggest chief complaint from students. Calibration with radiographs, calibration with instrumentation. And I've heard, from students, well, one faculty, this
Yeah,
is an error, and with this faculty, this is an error. It's one of the things that is hard to acquire and to make time to do because we already know how difficult it is already.
absolutely. I will say as a part-time faculty member, because I started teaching as a part-time clinical instructor. And I guess, the students would always say, well, such and such told me this and such told me this. And I really, would say, well, no, this is how you do it. And it wasn't until that I became full-time faculty and I actually got to teach the students in the beginning and then started managing senior clinics at the end that I really got to see the impact that different instruction had on students. So it had less to do with the grade, but it had more to do with it hindering their learning and it being so defeating to a student. And, it made me sit back and think, it's like, it's not about me being right or anybody else being right. How are we helping these students when they are hearing different messages? And so, of course, I started doing research. And when you are learning a skill, let's say such as instrumentation, it is very, very, very important that the instruction be consistent. We know with what we do, it involves a lot of muscle memory. But if you're being told by instructor A on Monday morning how to do it, and then instructor B on Tuesday tells you to do it, and then instructor C on Friday says, well, absolutely not. They're all crazy. I've been doing this 45 years, and these new age hygienists, at the end of the day, the student is left lost in your office crying. They don't know what to do. So calibration is such a big thing. And I think as instructors, if we take ourselves out of the equation and we truly focus on the student and how we are to best serve the student, I think that more of us would be more on board to do it. So I'm very, very, very passionate about that.
Yes, yes. And so one of the great things that we're going to have at the Inspire the Future Summit is the faculty calibration. And you're going to spend some time with us, which I'm excited about, talking about some of the fundamentals and some strategies that you've used that have been successful in you educating your students on instrumentation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep, yep. And we're going to have a hands-on part. So that's what's really exciting.
It's funny, because even when I speak about instrumentation, it's funny. You can even see it in people's minds. Yeah, we love what you're saying. We just want to touch our instruments. We want to
Mhm.
feel. We want to practice, and that's even with students. They can do a year prereqs, and then by the time they get downstairs and into pre-clinic, they're like, yes, we're finally doing dental hygiene.
Mhm.
But the whole year you had before was dental hygiene too. But it's
Mhm.
always that hands-on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So another component of the work that you're going to be discussing is advancing your degree.
Yes.
I love it that you are a trained clinical dental hygienist, but you have taken the time to get your doctorate degree,
Yes.
which I think is such a beautiful thing and something that we should definitely work towards. See more of us doing that. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer in getting your higher education and being able to grow. However, it's not always easy.
It's not. And I think for me, I don't do enough of sharing my own story. It's not like I, did 4 years of undergrad and then did 2 years of a master's and did another 2 years of a doctorate. It's been a journey. It has been a long journey, and life happens. I would say my first 2 weeks into hygiene school, I found out I was pregnant. So I have 4 kids, graduated over 20 years ago. So, when life happens, you start, you stop, you start, you stop. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. As long as you keep that end game in mind, you can certainly work towards it. And so I encourage any working mother, any professional woman, don't let anybody stop you. My mother, she graduated with her bachelor's in her 60s recently.
Mhm.
So I think even watching her, after all that time, go back to school to say, yes, I'm going to finish my degree, inspired me even more to do just the same. I love online education because it has opened so many doors. I couldn't imagine sitting in class anymore from
Mhm.
9 to 5 with all that I have going on. But education is the one thing that no one can take away from you. My dad would always say that. They can take your house, take your car, take whatever, but education is something no one can ever steal from you. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, huge advocate, and I have a lot to offer in terms of helping people um, go through that journey and just guide them through the process overall.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then what's really great about that is that, we have an online community. We don't want the collaboration and the support to end after just the 2 days that you spend with us. Like we want to continue to support you. We're going to give you actionable items in our workbook that you can actually implement and start with your program, but we also want to be there to help you along that journey. And so we're taking like a holistic approach. We're not just doing like classes that are just based on everything that you need to know to improve the students, but we also want to help and hold and care for our educators because we know how hard you work.
It is so hard. It's so hard, and sometimes it can be a very thankless job.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever gets into education to be rich. That's just
Mm-hmm.
100. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and dental hygiene education in particular, people have no idea what is required of students. And so to say that, you have no idea what's required of an educator, a dental hygiene educator, someone who is passionate about the curriculum, the profession, and their students. It can take a lot out of you. And so,
Yes.
like Jasmine said, this is a place for us to give to you, to pour into you, to know
Mm-hmm.
that you're not alone and we're in this together.
Yes. So besides your course, what are you most excited about with this conference coming up?
Being able to host it with a like-minded professional. So being able
Oh.
to host it with you, absolutely. We just vibe, and we have since day one. But outside of that, it's in the DMV. I mean,
Hello.
right. So, I remember when we first started talking about this, part of my frustration is that I'm tired of always having to go other places
Mm.
to, first of all, have hands-on activities, but to, also learn about CODA standards and CODA approved courses and educational methodology. I'm like, we're in the DMV. We have a lot to offer. So, let's bring it here. So I'm equally as excited about that. And there's plenty to do. It'll be a great time of the year, June 7th through 8th. Had to drop that in there. And who wouldn't want to come to the area during that time? So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, and we're not too far away from DC at all. We'll be in Largo, Maryland, so you'll have the opportunity. A lot of the speakers that are coming are actually going to take the time to venture out and see DC because they have never seen it, or may have seen it one time and never really got a chance to. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that and spending the time with the faculty and learning from them. And I'm equally as excited over the fact that we've partnered with Dental Cast Productions.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be live streaming this for faculty that cannot make it here to the DMV. Although we love to have you in person, we don't want any financial or travel barrier stopping people from learning. Education should be free, and good, excellent education should be. And that's our model, and that's what we're working towards, to provide you all the best, to provide you the support for you to see diversity, for you to really feel supported in your career. So I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. And also sometimes people just can't get the time off the work. I mean, sometimes there are things that I want to attend and I'm like, gosh, I just went to this conference. I can't go back to them and tell them I'm taking another week off. So, but if you're sitting there and you're sitting at home and you're able to stream it, you kind of get the best of both worlds. So you don't have to miss out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. We'll see you all. Yeah, I'm stoked. We'll see you all in June 7th through 8th, 2019. We'll be introducing some more speakers later on today and over the next few days. We're all working really hard to make sure that our courses are CODA aligned, and we're providing you stuff that you can actually use to improve your student learning outcomes. And that's what it's about. So, all right.
Don't miss out.
Yes, don't miss it.